The judge dropped his gavel. His hand shook so violently he couldn't hold it. Color drained from his face like someone pulled a plug. He stared at me and whispered 4 words that silenced the entire courtroom. "My God, is that really him?" Every head turned. My son Brandon giggled, leaned over to his wife Vanessa and whispered something. She shook her head with that familiar pity. Poor, pathetic Gerald, all dressed up. They had no idea. For 32 years, I'd been invisible. Gerald Morrison, maintenance worker at Lincoln High, Navy coveralls, mop bucket, lunch eaten alone while teenagers made janitor jokes. Brandon grew up ashamed. His friends would snicker seeing me push that yellow bucket. Senior year, he told his girlfriend I worked in facility management. But that wasn't my real name. My attorney stepped forward, Manhattan suit, titanium briefcase. "Your Honor, may I introduce the plaintiff, Jonathan Sterling Ashford III, former Chief Justice of the Ohio Supreme Court, former U.S. Attorney, lead prosecutor in the largest corruption trial in state history." The courtroom exploded. Reporters grabbed phones. Brandon's attorney dropped his briefcase. But Brandon and Vanessa just stared, mouths open, brains buffering, because nobody had known who I really was. In 1993, I prosecuted 47 people, 5 judges, 12 legislators, 2 congressmen. I put them all in prison. They tried to kill me for it. Car bombs, break-ins, death threats about what they'd do to my family. So I disappeared, changed my name, took a job nobody would notice, raised my son in complete anonymity, gave up everything to keep Brandon safe. 6 months ago, that son tried to steal everything I had left. It started with a phone call. Brandon's irritated voice. "Dad, we need to talk about your house. My German village home worth $780,000. You're sitting on a fortune and wasting it. Vanessa and I think you should sell." I was 63, ran 5 miles every morning, but I let him talk. The pressure built. Vanessa sent links to assisted living facilities. Brandon showed up with real estate agents without calling. One Sunday, I found them in my kitchen going through bank statements. "Just organizing your finances, Dad." Then I found the papers. Forged power of attorney documents in Vanessa's purse. My signature copied perfectly. Scheduled for probate court with a petition claiming I was mentally incompetent. My son was stealing from me. Most fathers would have confronted him, but I wasn't most fathers. I made one phone call to a law firm I hadn't contacted in 32 years. "My God, Jonathan," the senior partner whispered. "We thought you were dead." "Not yet, Vincent, but I need a favor." 3 weeks later, Brandon filed his petition, got a doctor to testify about my declining mental state, built an entire case painting me as senile. What he didn't know, I'd filed a counterclaim under my real name. The morning of the hearing, I wore a custom Italian suit, walked into Franklin County Courthouse at 9 a.m. Brandon giggled. Vanessa shook her head. Their attorney didn't look up. But when I stood at the plaintiff's table, Judge Morrison looked up and the world shifted. "Mr. Ashford," Vincent continued, "prosecuted the Morrison Doctrine case. The precedent you cited last month, that was his work." Judge Morrison actually stood. "Sir, I studied your cases at Harvard. I had no idea you were alive." Most people didn't. That was intentional. Vincent slid documents across. "We're also filing criminal referrals, federal charges. The forged documents meet the definition of conspiracy to commit elder abuse." A woman in gray stood in the back, badge on her belt. "FBI Special Agent Diana Chen, I have a warrant." Vanessa's face crumbled. Brandon's voice cracked. "Dad, I didn't know about—" "You knew enough," I said. As Agent Chen walked forward with handcuffs, Brandon stared at me like he'd never seen me before, because he hadn't. He'd spent 32 years looking at Gerald Morrison, the janitor. He'd never met Jonathan Ashford, the prosecutor who destroyed people who thought they were untouchable. This story doesn't start here. It starts 6 months ago with a phone call that made my blood run cold. Subscribe now. You're not ready for what comes next. 6 months earlier, I was fixing a water fountain when Brandon called. We need to talk about your situation, your house. German Village property values are insane. You're sitting on $800,000 living like you're broke. A sophomore walked past, rolled her eyes. Just the janitor on the phone. I'm comfortable, I said. You're 63 mopping floors. What happens when you can't work? You have zero retirement plan. I had $2.3 million in offshore accounts he didn't know about, but I didn't correct him. 2 weeks later, Vanessa started texting. Links to assisted living facilities. Just browsing options for you. Every day. Sometimes twice. Then Brandon showed up Saturday morning with a real estate agent. No warning. Dad, this is Patricia. Quick assessment. I didn't agree to this. They pushed past me, photographed rooms, made notes. Beautiful hardwood. You could easily get $780,000. That wrong feeling got louder. 3 weeks later, I came home to find them in my kitchen, both of them, going through my mail. My bank statements spread across the table. Organizing your finances, Brandon said. You've been so scattered. I hadn't been scattered. I'd balanced my checkbook that morning. Put everything back. Something flashed in Brandon's eyes. Anger? It disappeared fast. We're just worried about you. That night, I installed security cameras, hidden ones, covering my house. Brandon came back 3 times that week when I was supposed to be at work. The footage showed him searching, going through drawers, looking for something specific. Vanessa came once alone, went straight to my bedroom, opened my safe. She knew the combination. How did she know? I watched frame by frame. She photographed documents with her phone, birth certificate, social security card, property deed, building a file on me. Sunday dinner at their house. Vanessa made pot roast. Brandon poured wine. They acted like nothing was wrong. You ever think about retiring? Vanessa asked. Not really. Brandon set down his fork. Dad, you can't mop floors forever. You need a real plan. Selling the house, I'm not selling. Silence. After dinner, I walked past Vanessa's office, door half open, papers on her desk. My bank statements, forged documents, security camera footage, building a case like I used to do. But I needed more. Next morning, I pulled property records on Brandon's house. The clerk frowned. There's a substantial lien. $280,000. Cascade Financial Services. High interest. The kind of loans people take when banks won't touch them. Why would Brandon need a predatory loan? I called Luther Kane, a private investigator from the 90s. Holy hell, the ghost himself, Luther answered. What do you need? Background check. Brandon Morrison and Vanessa Morrison. 26 hours later, Luther called back. Your boy's in deep. Gambling debts, $340,000. Online poker, sports betting, 3 years. Borrowed from loan sharks. My careful son. Addicted to gambling. There's more. Vanessa changed her name 8 years ago. Used to be Vanessa Hartley. She was married before. Guy named Kenneth Hartley, worth $2 million. Died 6 years ago, fall downstairs, ruled accidental. But Kenneth's sister filed a civil suit, claimed Vanessa had forged power of attorney papers. Kenneth supposedly had dementia. Sister couldn't prove anything. Vanessa inherited everything, moved to Ohio 6 months later. My blood went cold. She'd done this before. Subscribe before this gets darker. Send me everything, I said. The files arrived 20 minutes later. Kenneth Hartley, 58, previously healthy, But 6 months before his death, Vanessa had him declared mentally incompetent, took over his finances, isolated him from family. Then he fell down the stairs. Convenient. Kenneth's doctor testified he'd never diagnosed dementia. Someone forged medical records. I looked at Kenneth's photo. He looked like me. Vanessa had a type. Older men with money and no family. Brandon wasn't the mastermind. He was the cover story, while Vanessa orchestrated everything. She'd done this before, and she was doing it again. To me. My phone rang. Unknown number. Mr. Ashford, I'm Claire Hartley, Kenneth's sister. I've been watching Vanessa for 6 years. When I saw your son's probate petition, I knew. I'm sorry I couldn't stop her. How long have you known who I am? 2 weeks. I hired an investigator. I had to warn you. I need everything you have on Vanessa. We met at a coffee shop. Claire pushed 3 boxes across. 6 years trying to prove my brother was murdered. Police reports, medical records, deleted emails I recovered showing Vanessa asking Kenneth's doctor about symptoms that indicate dementia. 2 weeks later, Kenneth exhibited those exact symptoms. She poisoned him, Claire said. Small doses, made him confused, then used that confusion for power of attorney. Can you prove it? No. She had him cremated 3 days after he died, before anyone could test his body. Smart. Destroying evidence. But I have this. Claire pulled out a notebook, Kenneth's handwriting, journal entries about feeling strange, dizzy, how Vanessa's vitamins made him feel worse. I photographed every page. There's something else. Vanessa had a friend, Delilah Wu, worked at a pharmaceutical company, quit right after Kenneth died. I think Delilah supplied whatever Vanessa used. That night, I sent everything to Vincent. The gambling debts, Connecticut case, Kenneth's journal. His response came instantly. This changes everything. We're opening a murder investigation. Then, I made another call. FBI agent who specializes in serial fraud. She's very interested in Vanessa's pattern. The pieces were falling into place. Criminal charges, federal investigation. I was building a cage Vanessa couldn't escape. But I needed Brandon to turn on her. Because buried in the files, I found proof Brandon didn't know the full extent. He thought he was helping Connor's father. He had no idea about elder abuse, insurance fraud, murder. If I played this right, I could save my son and destroy Vanessa. The hearing was 3 weeks away. 3 weeks to decide, save the son who betrayed me or let him burn. At 3 a.m., I stared at photos of Brandon as a kid, the boy he used to be, before Vanessa. My phone buzzed. Text from unknown number. Stop digging or your son dies. This is your only warning. Someone was watching. Someone knew what I was doing, and they were threatening to kill Brandon. Everything just changed. I called Vincent. He answered immediately. Forward it to me. I sent the screenshot. This changes our timeline. We need Brandon somewhere safe. If I warn him, he'll tell Vanessa. Or someone's trying to protect her. Vincent's voice went cold. What if there were people helping cover up Kenneth's death? Dr. Palmer, who falsified the dementia diagnosis. Dr. Eugene Palmer. I pulled his records. He's signed 17 mental incompetence declarations in 6 years. All patients over 60. All had assets transferred shortly after. How many are still alive? Long pause. 11. 6 dead. Vanessa was running an operation, and I was supposed to be victim number 7. We need the FBI now, I said. Agent Diana Chen, flying in from D.C. tonight. 6 hours later, I met Diana at a diner. Early 40s, sharp eyes. Mr. Ashford, I've read your file, Kenneth's, and 17 others matching the same pattern. She showed me photos, names, dates. Vanessa isn't alone. She has a network. Dr. Palmer provides medical cover. A lawyer named Marcus Webb files paperwork. Someone else handles threats and cleanup. The person who texted me. Exactly. Organized crime, elder fraud ring across 4 states. Conservatively, $12 million stolen over 6 years. $12 million. From people like me. Why hasn't anyone stopped them? They're smart. Target people with no family. When someone fights back, they get threatened until they give up. I'm not giving up. I know. Vincent told me who you are. I need your help. I've been chasing this ring for 2 years. Every time I get close, evidence vanishes. You want me to be bait. I want you to build an airtight case. There's a problem. My son. We've been monitoring Brandon's communications. He thinks he's helping get your house. He has no idea about Palmer, Webb, the network. Relief flooded through me. Can we save him? If he testifies against Vanessa, but he still committed fraud, can you live with watching him confess? Yes, because the alternative is watching him become like Vanessa. Diana nodded. We wire Brandon, get Vanessa to admit Connecticut, Palmer, everything, then arrest her at courthouse. Public, dramatic. When? 2 weeks. That night, something happened. Vincent called. Jonathan, we have a problem. Dr. Palmer, scheduled to testify at your hearing. He's dead. Car accident. Drove off a bridge. Police calling it suicide. Not suicide. Murder. The network's cleaning house, I said. Chen thinks so too. With your case bringing attention, they eliminated him. Which means Vanessa knows. Without Palmer, we can't prove medical fraud. Not enough for criminal charges. Then we need something else. Like what? I watched shadows in Brandon's window from across the street. Vanessa moved past, looking confident. Unless... What if we have Palmer's testimony already, recorded before he died? Do we? No, but Vanessa doesn't know that. Next morning, Vanessa got served with emergency deposition notice, required to appear tomorrow at 9 a.m. Luther's surveillance reported she screamed, made 3 phone calls, one to Marcus Webb, one untraceable, one to Connecticut. But she didn't run. Still thought she was smarter than everyone. The deposition was downtown. Small room, video cameras recording. Vanessa walked in wearing cream suit, professional. Her lawyer Marcus Webb beside her. I sat across, Vincent next to me, Diana in the corner. Vanessa smiled. Gerald, can't we just talk as family? We're not family. Her smile faltered, returned brighter. How's Dr. Palmer? I asked. The smile froze. Dr. Eugene Palmer, Hartford. He was supposed to evaluate me, declare me incompetent, like he did for Kenneth. Color drained from her face. Marcus leaned forward. We're not here to discuss. My name isn't Morrison. I pulled out my old identification. It's Ashford. Jonathan Sterling Ashford III, former Chief Justice, and the man who's putting you both in prison. Vanessa's hands shook. I know about Kenneth, the poisoning, the cremation, the 17 other victims, $12 million. You can't prove. Vanessa stood. We're leaving. Sit down, Diana said, pulling her badge. FBI, you're not leaving. Vanessa sat hard. Before Palmer died, he recorded a confession. 4 hours. Every detail, every victim, including his arrangement with you. We didn't have the recording, but Vanessa didn't know. I pulled up my phone, played static I'd recorded. A distorted voice. I falsified medical records for Vanessa Hartley for 6 years. I stopped it. Should I keep playing? Vanessa's breathing got faster. We have everything, Diana said. Palmer's confession, Kenneth's journal, financial records. Tomorrow, we're bringing in the other victims' families, all 17. Vanessa broke. It wasn't my idea. Marcus planned everything. I just found the marks. Marcus went pale. Vanessa, shut up. But she couldn't stop. Kenneth was already dying. We just helped the process. And Gerald, he's old, alone. Brandon needed that money. For what? I asked. Brandon's gambling. We were losing the house. You had all that money wasted on you. There it was. Confession on tape. Vanessa realized what she'd done. Hand to mouth. I want immunity. I'll testify against Marcus, everyone. Diana smiled coldly. We don't need your testimony. We have this. Tomorrow, at the hearing, we're arresting you both. Vanessa lunged across the table. I'll kill Brandon before I let him... Guards restrained her, still screaming. Diana nodded. Take her, holding cell. The room went quiet.
That was perfect, Diana said. Confess to everything. Is Brandon really making a deal? Vincent asked. Not yet, but he will. I drove to Brandon's house, knocked. He answered, confused. Dad, what? Can I come in? We sat in his living room. Brandon, we need to talk about Vanessa. She's in FBI custody. His face went blank. What? Your wife is a serial predator. She's killed before. She was planning to kill me. I told him everything. Kenneth, 17 victims, the network, Palmer's death. Brandon's face crumbled. I didn't know, he whispered. I swear, just the gambling, the debt. She said she could help. I know. She used me. Yes. What happens now? Tomorrow, FBI arrests Vanessa. You testify. Full cooperation. They'll recommend minimal charges, probation. And if I don't? Prison with her. He nodded, wiped his eyes. I deserve prison. Probably. But I'm not letting you go there. Why? After everything? Because 32 years ago, I gave up everything to protect you. I'm not stopping now. We sat in silence. Then Brandon asked, Who are you really? Someone who put bad people in prison. Are you going to put me in prison? No, I'm going to teach you to be better. Starting tomorrow. Tomorrow, everything ended, and everything began. Hit subscribe. The finale will shock you.
The morning of the hearing, Brandon stood on my porch at 6:47 a.m., eyes red and swollen. Dad, I can't do this. Everyone will see what I did. Good. They should know. Were you ever proud of me? I thought about spelling bees, varsity baseball, graduation. Every day, until you stopped being proud of yourself. Fresh tears. I'm sorry. I know. Now prove it. We drove separately. The parking lot was packed. News vans, reporters. Vincent met me. Vanessa tried to hang herself last night. Guards found her. She's alive. Left a 4-page confession. Everything. Kenneth Hartley's case, Palmer's confession, Vanessa's recorded breakdown, Marcus Webb, the whole ugly truth. Where's Marcus Webb? Skip town. FBI has a warrant. The courtroom was packed. Claire Hartley in third row, Luther near the back, families of victims. Brandon sat at defense table, alone, hand shaking. He glanced back at me, terror in his eyes. I nodded. You can do this. Judge Morrison entered. Where is Mrs. Morrison? In federal custody, Your Honor. Arrested yesterday on charges. I'm aware. I've reviewed the FBI's filing. He looked across the courtroom, found me. I started walking, down the center aisle, Italian suit sharp against morning light. Every head turned. Brandon saw me coming. His giggle, nervous, broken, would haunt me forever. His attorney shook her head, poor, confused old man. But Judge Morrison's reaction was different. Recognition hit him, color drained, hand shaking, gavel clattered across the bench. My God, is that really him? The courtroom went silent. Everyone sit down, Judge Morrison said. I reached the front, stood at plaintiff's table. Vincent stood. Your Honor, may I introduce the plaintiff? Jonathan Sterling Ashford III, former Chief Justice of the Ohio Supreme Court, former U.S. Attorney, lead prosecutor in Commonwealth v. Patterson. The courtroom exploded. Reporters grabbed phones. Brandon's attorney dropped her briefcase. Judge Morrison stood. Mr. Ashford, sir, I studied your work at Harvard, the Morrison Doctrine. I cited it last month. I had no idea you were alive. Most people didn't. That was intentional. Vincent laid out evidence. Kenneth Hartley's case, Palmer's confession, Vanessa's recorded breakdown, Marcus Webb, the whole ugly truth. Your Honor, FBI recommends all charges against Brandon reduced to conspiracy, 4th degree, suspended sentence, 5 years probation in exchange for cooperation. Judge Morrison looked at Brandon. Do you understand? Yes. Do you accept? Brandon looked at me. I don't deserve it. No, you don't. But you're getting it anyway. Why? Because 32 years ago, someone tried to kill my family, planted a bomb in our car. Your mother found it, defused it with minutes to spare. Threats kept coming. Men following us. Promises about what they'd do to our son. Brandon's face went pale. What? So I changed my name, disappeared, became Gerald Morrison, took a job nobody would notice, raised you where people who wanted to hurt us could never find us. You gave up everything for me? Yes. And I tried to steal from you? His voice broke. I'm the worst son. No, you're broken. Broken can be fixed. Judge Morrison cleared his throat. Brandon Morrison, please stand. You are hereby sentenced to 5 years probation, mandatory gambling counseling, 2,000 hours community service, full restitution to your father. Do you accept? Yes, Your Honor. This case is concluded. Applause erupted, Claire crying, other families standing, clapping. Justice, finally. Then back doors burst open, federal marshals rushed in, weapons drawn, everyone down. They went for someone in the gallery, a man in his 50s, suit, glasses, sitting quietly. They grabbed him, slammed him against the wall, cuffed him. Theodore Blackwood, you're under arrest for conspiracy to commit murder, wire fraud, and racketeering. Diana walked over, smiled. Hello, Theo. Been looking for you. He's the network's banker, Diana explained, laundered the money, distributed payments, ordered hits on anyone who got too close, including Palmer and Kenneth Hartley and 4 others. We've been tracking your offshore accounts, 12 million frozen. We found your communications with Marcus Webb, your threats to Claire, to Brandon, all of it. He'd walked right into our trap. Marshals dragged him out screaming. Judge Morrison banged his gavel. This court is adjourned. I walked to Brandon. He stood, faced me. What happens now? Now you heal, get help, become someone worth being. Can I still call you Dad? The question broke something in me. Yes, son, you can. We hugged in front of everyone. When we pulled apart. Are you staying, now that everyone knows? No. I'm going somewhere quiet, back to being Gerald Morrison. Why? Because being important doesn't matter. Being there for people you love matters. And I did that. For you. Will you see me again? Every Sunday, dinner, your place. You cook. He laughed, for the first time in months. I walked out past reporters, shouting questions, into the cold November air. Vincent caught up. Are you really walking away? You could have anything. I spent 30 years being somewhat important. It cost me everything. I'm done being Jonathan Ashford. A janitor? A father. There's a difference. 6 months later, back at Lincoln High. Navy coveralls, yellow mop bucket, same routine, but lighter somehow. Brandon visited me every Sunday. We cooked, talked, rebuilt what we'd almost lost. He was in counseling, gambling anonymous, working 2 jobs, struggling, but trying. And that was enough. A student stopped me. Mr. Morrison, is it true you used to be a judge? Long time ago. Different life. Why'd you come back? Because this job lets me sleep. That other life, I never slept. I finished mopping, went home to my 3-bedroom house, the house Brandon tried to steal, the house now in a trust going to him when I died anyway. Because that's what fathers do. We protect. We forgive. That night, Claire emailed me. She'd won a civil judgment, $6 million. Kenneth's assets recovered. Thank you for believing me. You're a hero. I wasn't a hero. Heroes don't hide 32 years while their sons spiral. But maybe I'd done enough. Revenge isn't destroying people. It's making them face truth about themselves, their choices, who they really are. I didn't destroy Brandon. I saved him by forcing him to see what he'd become. Sometimes that's the greatest revenge, making someone live with their actions and grow into something better. Next morning, I fixed a broken locker, unclogged a toilet, mopped the cafeteria. Just Gerald Morrison. Just a janitor. And for the first time in 32 years, that was exactly who I wanted to be. Was this justice or mercy? Should he have let Brandon face full charges, or was teaching him to be better more powerful? Drop a comment. I read every one. Subscribe so you never miss these stories. The next one, even darker. Trust me.